A giant waterfall, a lake full of midges, bizarre lava formations and mudpots. Welcome to the beauty of the north. Today we are in Akureyri in the north of Iceland, and this is the fourth day of our Iceland trip. However, the first thing we can see this morning is the Carnival Pride, docking backwards at the quay. I know people who have trouble reversing a car into a parking space. The captain of the Carnival Pride, on the other hand, docks backwards at the quay in Akureyri effortless and with utmost precision. The captain of our ship, the MSC Fantasia, has also docked with centimeter precision. And so today we are here at the quay in Akureyri to discover the north of Iceland. Akureyri is a town on the fjord Eyjafjörður, the island fjord in the north of Iceland. The Eyjafjörður is about 60 kilometers long. On the other side of the fjord we already can see a small waterfall with water from what appears to be a hot spring. There is the Carnival Pride, and that is Akureyri. With around 20,000 inhabitants, it is the fourth largest city in Iceland and the capital of the north. Akureyri is an important harbour. From here it is only around 50 kilometers north to the Arctic Circle. Our trip today takes us to the four major attractions in the north of this unique island. The Godafoss waterfall, Lake Myvatn, where millions of small midges are already waiting for us, the Dimmuborgir lava field, also called dark cities or dark castles, and the geothermal area Namaskard. It promises to be an incredibly exciting day, and we are already looking forward to seeing what awaits us. First we take the bus through Akureyri. There are cute traffic lights here and an impressive church from 1940 in typical Icelandic style. The older houses here are made of wood and, like in Norway, painted in bright colors. However, many houses have fallen victim to major fires. Here we see the oldest house in Akureyri, dating back to 1795. The black house is the Nonnahouse. Built around 1850, the small wooden house is one of the oldest houses in Akureyri. It was home to the well-known children's author John Svensson. Today there is a museum here. We are now leaving the city and making our way to our first destination, the Godafoss waterfall. As the weather slowly improves, we notice the trees on the banks of the fjord. You rarely see trees in Iceland. Although Akureyri is a fishing center, there are also some farms here. We now pass Myvatn, an old glacial lake where there are apparently kingfishers, but they are well hidden today. We will soon reach Godafoss, the waterfall of the gods. It is one of Iceland's true treasures and one of the largest waterfalls. There is a parking lot and a restaurant with a souvenir shop. The waterfall is close to the ring road and is easy to reach on foot. The Godafoss waterfall is one of the most spectacular waterfalls in Iceland. The water of the river Skálfandafjord falls from a height of 12 meters over a width of 30 meters. A 1.8-mile hiking trail loops around the waterfall area and there are several viewing platforms. It was placed under nature protection in June 2020. If the water is high enough, other waterfalls often appear, making this place even more magical. The Godafoss waterfall got its name from an Icelandic legend. It is said that around the year 1000 a law speaker decided to make Christianity the official religion of Iceland. In order to disempower the previous gods, all idols were thrown into the Godafoss. A window in the cathedral of Akureyri illustrates this story. We continue to Lake Myvatn, which literally means mid-lake. There is a hotel with a restaurant here, where we offered lunch as part of the excursion. Instead, we want to take a long walk at Lake Myvatn. There's also a souvenir shop where you can buy mosquito nets. Because what you immediately notice when you get out of the vehicle are the millions and billions of midges. Lake Myvatn is not called the Midge Lake for nothing, and it lives up to its name. A fine meshed mosquito net is not an unnecessary luxury if you want to do some hiking. Well, the lake midge doesn't bite or sting, but they swarm in your face and crawl into every conceivable body opening, including the eyes and ears and nose. This is extremely annoying and almost unbearable at times. There are also black flies. They also swarm and bite. The insects are an important source of food for the many birds that breed here. 115 different species of birds have been observed here, 45 of which nest here. For the birds, this must be the land of milk and honey. What also makes the landscape of Lake Myvatn so unique is the presence of so-called pseudocraters, which are formed by steam explosions. The lake itself, with its numerous islets, invites you to take long walks. There are several hiking trails directly around the lake where you can observe many birds, especially many different species of ducks and swans. You can easily climb up to some of the pseudocraters located on the lake. At the top you have a phenomenal view of the scenery. So make sure to bring some time with you, since you don't really want to leave here. The wide open landscape is breathtaking and you can hardly get enough of it. The colors of the water, the mountains and the sky immerse everything in an unreal atmosphere. The beautiful lakeshore, hardly any civilization, and the odd volcanic cones are simply spectacular. We drive on, now with a whole crowd of midges that have made themselves comfortable in the bus. Luckily, our next stop isn't far, the Dimmuborgir lava fields. This is one of the most interesting sites in Iceland, because here you can see bizarre lava formations that are reminiscent of towers with caves and funny sculptures and trolls, and seem almost mysterious. Hence the name Dimmuborgir, which means dark castles or dark cities. Various routes lead through this area, which was formed from fire and water around 2000 years ago. At that time there was a large lake at the site of Dimmuborgir. This was flooded by lava during an eruption. The evaporating water and lava created the bizarre cavities and the mystical shapes that can be seen here today. This is the view from the observation desk at the top of the lava field. From here you can go down into the lava field. You should definitely stay on the path, both to protect the sensitive flora and to avoid getting lost or falling into a crevasse. And here too there are millions of midges. A fine mesh hat is strongly recommended. At the beginning the paths are still very busy, but after a short time most people without a buck stop turn around. Next to the car park there is a souvenir shop and a cafe, which unfortunately we didn't have time for. We were glad to have our mosquito hats with us so we could enjoy this extraordinary, bizarre and unique landscape to the full. When we get back to the bus, there are even more midges. But no worries, they don't bite, they just crawl around on the windows. We continue to our last stop for today, Namaskard. Namaskard is a geothermal area and is one of the most impressive attractions in Iceland, with boiling mud pots, fumaroles and a unique Martian landscape. The route there leads through a landscape where parts of Game of Thrones and Fast and Furious were filmed, as our guide reports. There are also several natural pools with hot springs and a geothermal power station. Namaskard is a very special place. The geothermal area, also called Hverir, is part of the Krafla volcanic system. The smell of sulfur is everywhere. Smoke rises from the ground, boiling mud pots bubble, and the water is scalding hot. It's a fascinating spectacle. The colors of the landscape are also impressive, predominantly ochre, sulfur yellow, and bubbling blue-gray. There is no vegetation. This is due to the heat on the ground, the acidity of the soil, and the toxic fumes emitted. The area is quite large. It is important to stay on the marked paths, otherwise it can quickly become dangerous. You also shouldn't stick your finger into the hot mud to check the temperature. We didn't get any further along some of the path because the ground was too hot. How thin the earth crust must be here and how strong are the forces that rage under our feet. At the end of the day, the sky is blue, and we can fully enjoy the journey back through the impressive Icelandic landscape. Was the trip worth it? The trip was Iceland at its best. The excursion is organized by MSC and is not cheap, but we enjoyed every second of it. The Godafoss is impressive, the waterfall is powerful and certainly one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Iceland. The area around Lake Myvatn is an absolute dream. Everything that makes Iceland special can be found here, landscape in almost every form imaginable. The Dimmuborgir lava field with its countless petrified towers and trolls is unique. We never had seen anything like this before. The geothermal area Namaskard or Hverir with its fumaroles and mud pots and the smell of sulfite is also typical for Iceland and absolute awesome. You should definitely plan enough time in this area, ideally several days. We visited 4 of the major sites today, but there is more to discover and you can also go hiking here. We would have liked to stay longer and will definitely come back someday with more time. Good shoes and a mosquito hat are a must if you want to enjoy everything in a relaxed way, because there is so much to see and enjoy here. Together with the Carnival Pride, we set sail from the port in Akureyri. We had a wonderful day with experiences that we will never forget. We learned so much about Iceland and saw so many natural wonders. Iceland, Akureyri and the beautiful North of Iceland are more than a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we will definitely be back someday. Iceland was a revelation. Now we have to leave this beautiful country again. At the end of the fjord, it is hard to say goodbye. The landscape is so typically Icelandic. The bare mountains, the snow, the colors, these are impressions that we will never forget. Our next port is Lerwick on the Shetland Islands. Until then, and thank you so much for watching.